That
Okay.
headlight is massive. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Virtual Railroader Academy. This is Railroaders Play Railroads Online, and tonight's class is Switching in the Terminal Railroad 106. As always, I'm your co-host, Professor Casey.
And I'm Professor Nick, and welcome to the Woot,
Yes, the
the,
Woot.
the Western Ottawa, Ontario Terminal.
Woot, woot.
And we get to
And
talk about terminal railroading.
yes, with our very own kind of a guest lecturer, Professor Rudy. He's usually uh, a standard character you hear in the background, our Rudy Lowry, famous for all of the fun designs on the AM and W. But tonight we're on the Woot, his amazing switching railroad. Why don't you give us a little backstory here?
Okay. Well, thanks for having me again, um, in a different setting than usual. So the Woot is designed as essentially, if you're designing a model railroad, it would be a switching layout. There's one main yard, and there's four branches off of that yard. Um, and it is designed so that, much like a real railroad, you don't actually have the crews loading and unloading cars. You just spot them at the industry and you walk away, and the cars miraculously load themselves or unload themselves after you have left. Um, so it allows you to run much more mixed trains and a lot more things that look like branch line trains, compared to kind of the long haul mainline stuff that's being run in a lot of other servers. All the industries have been moved into the central portion of the map, so the runs are shorter, but there's a lot more to do on those runs.
Well, very cool. I'm looking forward to the challenge, because, well, I think Nick is more than I, because we've got quite a train here. Like 18 cars. So it's going to be a fun run. Looks like nothing's blocked. Um, and we
Yeah,
have our
the
switching list.
I was gonna say the hump crew did a bad job.
That
So
is right. You do have a hump yard, which we can kind of
working
see in
hump
the
yard.
distance. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
very cool to play with. And if you guys want to see a map of what we're working with tonight, exclamation mark minis work will take you to this map, so that way you can see where we are the whole night. I'll take a quick look at your switch list, and I think we should get out of here and start, cause I think it's gonna take us a while.
And Zwerg is, mini Zwerg is spelled how because my German is a bit rusty, been honest.
Minizwerg. So here's our switch list. Tell us about your switch list, cause you used to work for a short line in dispatching, right?
Yep.
So
Um,
is this what is this like compared to the switch list you've put together for your railroad? Your
so this
real
is
life railroad, not your virtual railroad.
yeah. So this is kind of the very simplified version that I would put together to kind of give our crews idea what they had to do at each location. A lot of times when we would go into our dispatching software or our car tracking software, you just get a random printout of whatever it might come out in reporting mark order or something. Um, so usually, I mean, in a real railroad setting, there would be reporting marks on these, um, not just a number of what cars to use. But otherwise, yeah, it would be. I would make up something kind of similar to this in terms of a simplified switch list, and then I'd give them the actual one stapled to it, so they had both to refer to.
All right. Well, I appreciate the simplified version. I think that's going to make our job tonight just a little bit easier. Um. Well, what do you say, Nick? We highball out of here.
It's a good place to start as any.
You're conductor tonight.
Oh, right.
I'm
Don't
talking.
worry, folks. I am eager about the task ahead, but I am also afraid of it because I am gonna have to think really, really hard about what we're doing while simultaneously leaving you entertained and educated. Uh, and if you watch Great Train Layouts Live, the series that I host every third Thursday of the month on my YouTube channel, Nick Ozrak, then you will know that driving brains and thinking through complicated switch moves while talking to you guys is a challenge. But since I have the help of the wonderful Professor Casey, hopefully that will make things a bit easier.
Yeah. I'll when I'm thinking you can carry, and when you're thinking I'll carry. Shared load.
And we encourage you, as always, to join in the conversation on Twitch and share with us your comments, your questions, your suggestions. First question I'm going to put out there to folks is, what is the nearest terminal railroad to you? A railroad with the name terminal in it, or one that you understand to have a terminal function? Some of my favorites, I'm not really sure of ones that are near me where I live here in Virginia, but I will say that historically, I'm a big fan of the Springfield Terminal Railway, which was an electric interurban that ran for about 5 miles between a Boston and Maine interchange and the town of Springfield, Vermont. And I'd be interested to learn more about the Portland Terminal Railway in Portland, Maine. But my knowledge of that one is admittedly limited. Our first comment is in, and it is a. Oh, no. It's. We have a subscriber. Thank you to Clockwork Angle. 4112.
Nick, that's me.
I know, but it's still thank you.
I wanted to start off with something. I mean, let's get the comments rolling somewhere, right?
Well, no, and that's why I'm making the point to thank you. It's
Thank
the
you.
team that supports one another stays together. That's the way
It's-
I look at it.
It's supposed to be Angel, but, they blocked my name because it was weird. But anyway.
Angle. Okay, well, Clockwork Angle could be equally as fascinating.
Yeah, it's a Rush album, so yeah, we'll go with it.
Ooh.
It's close to Clockwork Orange.
No, not Clockwork Orange. No.
Well, we are here at our branch line, and my favorite terminal railroad's got to be the CUT. I love those electrics. I just think they're. I think it was a cool operation. Electrics are. I mean, how can you go wrong with giant electric motors? So
Cleveland
that's
Union
mine.
Terminal.
Yes.
For those.
The uninitiated.
Yes. Yeah, electric motors similar to what the New York Central had running in and out of New York City.
The New York Central subway.
We don't talk about the New York Central subway. This is an inside joke referring to the fact that I was live streaming, and as
Not that inside of a
discussed.
joke.
Well, yes, inside if you watched the other stream of Great Train Layouts live, somebody was talking to me about the NYC subway, and because I was distracted because I was streaming while communicating with them, I kept referring to it as the New York Central subway as opposed to the New York City subway. Okay. Now I gotta think what we're actually doing here.
So while Nick is thinking about that switch list, Rudy, why don't you tell us what the hell is a terminal railroad?
So a terminal railroad is typically a railroad that operates, exclusively in one location. It could be a port, it could be a marine terminal, but it's something of that nature, where your operations are confined to a single location. In the instances that Nick mentioned, or you mentioned, the Springfield Terminal Railroad operated solely in Springfield, Vermont, or to serve Springfield, Vermont in their
Oh.
case, because they actually went slightly outside of Springfield in order to. I just got booted out of my own game.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
got booted down to desktop. I got an
Oh.
Unreal crash.
I
That's
got
cool.
yeeted.
Hello everyone.
Wow.
Sorry about that.
Me too.
I got crashed to desktop, so we're gonna boot up. While Rudy continues telling us about terminal railroads.
Anyway, so railroads like that were typically a single location railroad. So the Springfield Terminal Railroad was built to serve the city of Springfield, Vermont, even though it ventured slightly outside of Springfield to make its B&M connection. The Portland Terminal Railroad was built as a joint railroad between the Boston and Maine and the Maine Central, and essentially handled all of their joint operations within Portland, Maine. Cleveland Union Terminal, did the same thing. A lot of railroads had, Union or a lot of rail lines had Union Terminal railroads that served multiple railroads in a single region as a way to, consolidate operations. There's a railroad that still technically exists on paper in Washington D.C. called the Washington Terminal Railroad. That's the same thing. It handled all of the passenger operations around Washington Union Station for all the various railroads that went in and out of that terminal. So that's essentially what a terminal railroad is. This railroad, being as tiny as it is, makes sense that it would be serving a couple of local industries all within the same town or the same city or whatever you kind of want to make up here for your lore. So.
All right, and folks, I gotta go to a just different screen for a second, so you'll hear us in a minute. Be right back. All right, folks. Game's booting back up. Thanks for bearing with us. Yeah. So, I think you were saying Washington D.C. is still a terminal railroad.
Yes, the Washington Terminal Railroad is a wholly owned subsidiary of Amtrak. At the time that Amtrak took it over in 1971, it was owned in part by all of the railroads that went into Washington Terminal, or Washington Union Terminal, and all of those railroads became part of or ceded their passenger operations to Amtrak, and therefore Amtrak ended up with full ownership of Washington Terminal. They've actually painted a heritage locomotive recently, so if you go to Washington D.C., you may see a SW something 7.
Here in Railroads Online. So I enjoy the terminal railroad. I think it's a fun, unique challenge. I don't know why an ad is rolling right now. I thought I turned all of those off for the evening.
Are we even live?
We are still live.
Okay.
I cannot figure out how these ads work. I'm sorry, folks, if you can even hear us right now.
There we go.
Figure that out eventually.
Not getting a server list at the moment.
Alright, I'm gonna creep us back up to the, to our interchange track. This is a very heavy train. Wow. There we go. Pump the throttle a little bit to get her rolling. Nice and gentle. Can really feel each car picking itself up. And you can tell I've been playing a lot of Run 8 because I just used my scroll wheel to try and zoom back to make sure we started picking up the cars behind us.
Extra 10 west to dispatch. Are we cleared to depart?
I'm not dispatch.
Well, whoever is dispatch.
Whoever gets to say what goes
Oh,
choo-choo.
yes, you're clear to depart. I guess that's
All right.
me.
If I could get in this Heisler.
Yeah, it's a new bug they gotta fix.
Alright, looks like everything's picked up. We're accelerating. Alright, there we go. Nick, well, I'll meet you at the siding. We keep the train in.
Yep, I'm loading in, but we'll let you know once I'm in action mode.
And if you want a hint for your switch list, the coal mine is easiest to do first. And the iron mine's the easiest to do last.
Alrighty. Then I will take that advice. Are you heading back over? Like, do you have to redo the run? Or?
Yeah, I have to redo the 3/4 of a mile run. Probably not even the 1/4 of a mile run.
Okay.
It's barely more than a train length. Your tail end's gonna still be almost in the yard when you get out there.
But yeah,
Well, so should I route us for the coal mine first then?
Uh,
rather than...
we'll go in. It's easiest to work off this siding.
Okay.
So leave it routed the way it is. And then we'll have to drill out our train to get the cars we need to bring to the coal mine onto onto the track to our left.
Okay. So coal mine, 2 empty rail cars. And the rail cars are the ones with stakes.
Alright, so we've gotten into the siding. I've reduced my throttle. We are climbing up a little bit of a grade here, so I'm letting my grade eat up my speed, and slow me down. Because, you know, I harp on this I think almost every stream at this point, but use your physical characteristics to your advantage. So instead of grabbing brake, I'm letting the grade slow me down and bring me to a crawl. I'm going to shut off my throttle, grab a little bit of brake, and see we're easing down nice and gently. A little more brake. And then a little more. And grab it all the way. And we're stopped. So things to keep in note when you're switching is, depending on where you're switching, you're probably not going to be using air. So what we're doing tonight is at least somewhat realistic. Most of the time in our yard we do what's called, well, I was going to say it's called flat switching, but flat switching is when you don't have a hump. We switch without air. But we also do flat switching because we don't have a hump. So not entirely wrong. But we don't air up our cars most of the time when we're switching because we're switching on a flat bit of railroad. So, tonight's going to be kind of what we do. Things to note are, it's freight, so you can kind of throw it around a little bit, but not too hard. You still want to have some semblance of train handling. You don't want to be kicking your guy off of the, riding the car. You don't want to be booting them off if you grab the independent too hard. You still want to be gentle, but you could kick cars quite a bit since you're doing a lot of switching, and it's all about being kind of quick with your moves. You don't want to spend. It's going to take you 12 hours to do it, but you don't want to do it for 12 hours, if you know what I'm saying. So we'll be hearing from our conductor here shortly on what the strategy is.
Okay, so if we're doing coal mine first, we've got to take 2 loaded rail, an empty hopper, and 2 loaded beams. So one of the rail cars is in the back, one of the beam cars is in the back. So I feel like we'll fish those out first. And it makes sense that if we're doing the coal mine first, the 4 flat cars that are sitting on the well, not on the main, but sitting at the siding, we want to get those out of the way. So we're going to take them with us down this siding and then shove them off to the side at the coal mine so that they're out of the way for us to do our coal mine work.
Alright, sounds good. And it looks like we're going to foul up that iron ore car, so we may want to come onto it and Either pull
Take
it out
it
of the
with-
way and take it with us, or just kick it back up that stub a little more.
Maybe we'll just kick it since it's loaded. No sense taking on the extra weight if we don't have to.
All right, I'll cut myself away. Wait, what? So
Oh,
what's
no,
the...
no, no.
No,
You
I don't
don't
need to
need
cut
to
myself
cut.
away. You're pulling the pin down there.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull the pin at the. Yep, I've pulled the pin, so you're good. Go
Keep in
ahead.
mind that loaded iron cars come with you guys.
Yes, we're just putting it out of the way.
All right, giving her throttle to get.
Oh, is head end room gonna be an issue for doing the switching down there?
I don't think so.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, we'll have enough room.
I'll drop a sneaky save right now in case something happens again.
So what I'm thinking here, ladies and gentlemen, is in terms of trying to get the stuff at the back of the train first, because if we take care of the stuff at the back of the train and what we're taking with us is also at the back of the train, so like the coal mine pickups are placed at the back of the train, then we could get those out of the way onto the main sooner, and then we're working with shorter cuts of cars for the oil refinery, and then even shorter for the ore.
And also,
block-
as you're doing it, that if you're taking everything off the back and you're building it up onto that main or the siding, because I think we're on the main originally. You're also putting your empties at the end or you're putting your outbound stuff on the outbound side. So when we're all said and done, we're kind of building the train back towards us for the outbound stuff.
Front to back.
Yeah, or back to front.
it-
Because I'm currently at the front and you're currently at the back. So you're building the outbound stuff back there while I have the inbound stuff up here.
Right, although the back becomes the front one once we head to the yard.
I feel like we're having this can become a philosophical moment. What's really the back and what's really the front?
Oh, I was thinking that the back and front switch per
I-
direction.
It does, I think. It does. I was
half
trying to make
car.
a joke. Half a car. Whoa, on the brakes.
Sorry, I didn't give you much heads up on that one. But anyway, there's good. And good to bring it back. 12 cars.
Here we come. Back 12 cars. Number 7. Give it some. Feel the slack push in.
What's going to be nice is that these pickups with these flats at the iron ore mine, not that we're worrying about picking them up now, but just to say that they're all set to go as one fell swoop of a chunk. So we don't have to be doing any sort of weird fishing when it comes to those
Exactly.
cars.
Oh, God. Another...
Oh,
I
no.
just got booted again.
Yeah, same.
Alright, send and
We
restart.
apologize,
Yeah, that's,
ladies and gentlemen,
that's weird.
for these technical issues.
Rudy, do you want to try and host it?
I can try.
That way, at least if I get booted, it doesn't end everything.
That's true, but yeah, because that's true. If I usually on my end it doesn't
It doesn't crash the desktop. That's-
crash me to desktop. It crashes everybody else's desktop.
Hey, you know,
Yeah,
that's
I'll try it.
not the end of the world.
Do you want to quickly send the save file over?
We're not, it's not a whole bunch of stuff missing.
Mm.
You know where to pull the pin, right, Nick?
I know where to pull the pin.
Oh god, how do you say that? That's IB list GDT. Yeah, it's for some reason this save ends up crashing me to desktop a bit. I don't know. It's kind of new for me. I haven't really had this with the AM and W before. Ballistic. All right, cool. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight here on the what will be the Woot once it is up. Alright, and I gotta mute myself for a second, guys, so we'll be right back. And that was quick, we're back. So we're reloading back into the Woot. We're going to hustle muscle, as the Great Northern would say, on over to the coal mine, iron ore, and refinery branch.
All right. I haven't been able to log in at all.
Hey, I can hear you now.
There you go. And now it's not even letting me choose a server. I'm
I
just
had
gonna
that
mute myself
too.
until I can get in.
Just restart the game if it's not showing a server list. That's what I had to do.
Now the problem is that I'm getting the server list, I'm putting the password in, it loads for about 3 seconds and then boots me back to play options community quit.
It just showed me that you logged in.
All right, I'm gonna try to troubleshoot this. I'll be back. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no worries.
Alright, you are lined out, and Caboose handbrake is off, so you guys are ready to roll.
Sweet. I'm still loading, but I'm trying to get on out.
Okay.
Alright. I see. I enter that. And then I may end up on a completely wrong server because I pressed join server, but I pressed it for a different server.
Cool.
So I may end up on a different server. But since you have to get out there anyway, I have a little bit of lead time.
A little bit.
But at least those of you tuning in and watching us. Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Going the wrong game. But those of you joining us and watching, you get to really visualize and memorize the quarter of a mile of main line.
I should not have tried running that while the game is loading. It is popcorning terribly. We're just gonna let that. We're gonna let that do its thing. It'll make it. It'll get itself to the branch while I finish loading. Eventually, moving slowly. All right.
Okay, now I joined the right server.
I'm done loading. All right, let's get the heck out of Dodge.
All right, extra 10 to dispatch. I assume I'm clear to head out at yard.
Mr. Lowry, that's your cue.
Sorry, helping troubleshoot over here. What was the question?
So extra 10 is ready to depart the yard.
Yep, I knocked the handbrake off your Caboose. You're ready to go.
All right.
I could hear the whistle from all the way over here. That's nice.
Yep.
So, the challenge has been put because now we're not talking just switching the train 2 hours. We're talking switching the train in an hour and a half.
I think we can do it. We're quick.
We are efficient. We were recently complimented on our switching capabilities.
I'm
Were
not
we
sure if capabilities. I think it was our laissez-faire attitude towards switching, but we have been working as a crew together long enough that we've developed our own communication, which is what happens when you work with one person long enough. You can communicate. You learn to communicate in a shorthand.
I mean, I'll admit, I'm still working to make sure that I don't work with just ahead and back, and I'm trying to make it pull and shove, or push and pull. But
Ahead and the back are more than fine.
they're Yeah, it depends on. But if in that case we were working with a switcher that didn't clearly have a head or a back, or well, we were doing more switching with it, smoke box to freight cars, so it was kind of backwards. So
Well, the front is always the front of the steam engine's always the front of the steam engine, no matter what.
right,
So your smoke box is always a front. So even if you're pushing with the smoke box, you're still going ahead. So if we have cars coupled up to the pilot, and we're shoving them, it's still ahead, even though we're shoving.
true.
So it's just learning that.
Okay.
I just
So,
did a
in the
quick
end-
save, FYI, because this is the 4th time I have gone around and fired up engines and moved things. So I just did a quick save. So
All right.
Good call. Yeah, I want to pull the pin, but I'm having some very heavy desync at the moment. So
yeah,
I'm kind of waiting for it to
It's
stable.
desyncing very hard for me right now.
Oh, I
Weird.
thought that was just a loading thing,
yeah,
which maybe it is.
this route never had that problem before.
Maybe the number of cars. Anything over 86 pieces of rolling stock, and you start to desync.
I don't think I have.
Yeah,
86.
we weren't
86.
desynking when we had this saves with you.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, only minor. Like right now, it's like cars jumping all over the place.
Thing. That could be because it's running on my machine.
True.
That's entirely possible.
I'll take the desync over crashing the desktop every 15 minutes.
That's probably good too.
Agreed.
Nick, do you want me to pull this pin? Because I'm here and I can see it.
Yeah, since it's stable for you, go for it.
Pin has been pulled.
All right, pin's pulled. Here we go.
Yep. Keep. Good for 15.
All right, 7 clear, 15 cars.
So, I guess you could say that sometimes talking about these types of short lines could be sad. It could be morbid because you are talking about a terminal railroad.
Wow.
Wow.
I think my brain just crashed desktop.
That was dark.
Well, I'd been prepared. I don't know why, because I do think I myself as Mr. Optimism, but yeah, you're good for 7.
I think
7
your
cars.
optimism just got cut off.
Wrong railroad.
Oh, whoops.
I turned off the headlight and marker lights on my engine, and I am desyncing less. FYI, for anyone else out there in the world.
2 cars.
2.
Okay, well, let's do that then.
1 car.
Maybe take the marker lights off the caboose too.
I did not have truck.
And you're in the clear.
Far enough.
With the
Try it.
push. 12 cars.
Oh, we're
7,
never
here we
gonna-
come back, 12 cars on a reverse switch at Iron Ore Mine.
Alright, I am taking the markers off your caboose.
Gonna make sure our handbrakes are off on these cars, because we're
Yeah,
just
I am.
gonna...
I am pumping the throttle, trying to get us to start rolling here. There we go. You notice that throttle pumping move that I'm doing? That's Steam Chest isn't modeled in this game, but that's carrying over from working with the real things. Is you want to give the Steam Chest a shot of steam, let it do something, and then give it another shot, so that way you're getting steam in, it's little shots going in, it's expanding, it's moving your piston, and then it's getting another shot. So those kinds of little moves allow you to have nice, smooth train handling.
3
Start-
cars.
3 cars.
2 cars. 1 car. Half. Truck. good. Just keep shoving. Because now we're going to go 1 car,
One,
half,
half,
truck,
truck.
and we're going to release the handbrake on that for a moment just to make sure it clears the switch. And when it does, you're going to pull ahead. Pull ahead 20.
20 cars?
I can't see the head end, so maybe more like 15.
Coming ahead, 15 cars. Are there any handbrakes on? Because I am not moving at all.
I will double check.
Alright, because I got the throttle wide open and I'm just starting to roll.
You're also pulling up a 1.5% grade coming out of that track. So
Coming out of
Which-
the iron ore mine?
yeah, there's a little dip there as you go down towards the spot track,
Yeah.
and it's about two or three cars worth of a 1.5% grade.
Well, there you have it. It's steep freaking grade.
And you've got some heavy terrain going on behind you. So you got what, 21 cars and like 19 of them are loaded.
I think
Or
something like that.
17 are loaded, something like that. Yeah.
Alright, so we're accelerating away nice and easy. I'm gonna leave my throttle where it is because I'm doing what I want it to do.
7 cars.
7 cars. Now we got a heavy train, so I'm gonna shut off and let it just coast.
I realize I'm doing something different than from what I'd intended, but that's the name of improv. Because
Hey.
originally I was going to have these shoved back toward the coal mine, but at this point we're just going to end up putting them on the main.
Alright,
2 cars,
2 cars. My job up here on the head end is to kind of shut up and just
1
pull
car,
levers. 1 car.
half,
Half,
truck,
truck,
anywhere in there is good.
far enough.
Good shove back, 7 cars.
Alright, 7, here we come back. 7 cars on a normal switch at iron ore mine.
So my philosophy with giving Professor Casey a count of 7 is that there's 4 cars that are being put onto the main. And then I'm allowing 3 cars as essentially the buffer space, because if I just told her 4, then that last flat car would be parked right on the switch. So that additional 3 cars is going to clear the switch.
Works for me. Like I said, my job up here as engineer when switching is to kind of shut up and listen to what the conductor says. The conductor's in charge of all the moves. So there's no reason for me
4
to
cars.
say 4 cars. And we're going to shut off and grab some
3
brake.
cars.
3. More brake.
Yeah, she could be thinking I'm crazy, and I probably am. 2 cars.
2.
But I'm allowed to be crazy because I'm in charge at the moment. 1 car.
1 more. Half a car.
Truck.
Truck.
And anywhere there's good there.
Far enough.
So, and sure enough, my count was pretty accurate, so the 7th car is currently following the switch. But that's okay, because it's coming with us. Pull ahead 3 cars, please.
7, here we come ahead. 3 cars. Give it some throttle.
Yes.
Wait until
And
I start to see it move, then push it in a little bit. then start working it back out as you feel the whole train kind of pick up. You feel each car catch, and then you can go all the way out with it.
2 cars.
2 car.
1 car.
1 more. And back on the brake. Half.
Keep coming. Keep coming. Still a truck.
Truck.
And you're in the clear there.
Far enough.
Yeah.
Number 7.
Yep. Good to push back 30.
7. Here we come back shoving for 30. On a reverse switch. That's one thing that was drilled into me when I was learning is when you throw a switch when you're doing a switching move, you let the engineer know, shove back 30 cars on a reverse switch at iron ore mine. So that way they knew you throw the switch and they then know, and then the hogger knows what track they're going down. Plus one track may have a speed limit that's good for 30, the other track may have a speed limit that's good for 5. So those are important things to know. I was also taught every time you throw a switch and you climb back into the cab, you say, you acknowledge one switch used, one switch, or however many switches you, when you're departing a location. However many switches you used, however many switches you line lock normal. So like when we're doing our run around, on my railroad, I need to touch 2 switches, one to pin off of the train, the other one to make the hitch back on. And when I climb back up into the cab after making the hook, after running around, climb back up, let the hogger know once 2 switches used, 2 switches lined and locked normal.
Okay, so as we're on this shove, I'm thinking ahead to what I want to do at the mine. And here's what we've got. Because we've got some lumber cars that are mixed in with the coal mine cars, and we don't need those lumber cars, we're going to kind of fish those out with the cars that we do need for the coal mine.
Okay.
Once we're finished fishing those out, then we go into the mine and we do our load and empty swap-a-rooney.
Alright, so we're going to use the siding there to block our train a bit.
Correct. So, good to shove another 7 cars.
Shoving 7 cars. Number 7.
Five cars.
5 cars.
4.
4.
3.
3.
2.
2.
1.
1.
Anywhere in there is good there. 7.
We're trying.
You're succeeding. Okay.
Successful.
Pull ahead 5 cars.
7 coming ahead, 5 cars.
So we've got 2 cars, a loaded beam, and a loaded rail that are now set out. So our first lumber fisher route is coming out. 3 cars.
3.
2.
2.
1.
1.
Half.
Half.
Truck.
Truck. Still a truck.
Still a truck.
Still a truck.
Actually, no. You're good.
Far enough.
Shove 4 cars.
Here we come back, 4 cars, number 7. And just starting to pick up, push it in, come back out nice and gentle with it. So, Rudy, what was your inspiration for wanting to do a terminal railroad and Railroads Online? I know everyone's a huge fan of the mainline unit
Crazy Mountain
trains.
Explorer.
Yeah. Why a terminal railroad?
I wanted something that felt a little more realistic. You know, the gameplay. You know, the way it's structured, you kind of end up with unit trains. You end up running, 20 cars of coal down from the coal mine, or you end up running 20 oil cars over to the oil, to the refinery or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to really run mixed trains, and I wanted to kind of replicate that feeling of, not doing the loading unloading yourself, having it kind of happen off gameplay. So part of what I do in the stream is like, you guys are going to spot all this stuff and then go back to the yard, and once you go back to the yard, I'm going to run around and do the loading unloading. So that like the people playing as the train crew are really just moving the train. They're not doing loading, they're not unloading. You're not just putting a car in, loading it, and pulling it back out again. It very much feels more like a railroad operates. That's what I wanted to replicate.
You said come ahead, Nick?
Pull ahead 5 cars.
Coming ahead 5 cars, number 7. And I think, I've played this map a bunch with you, and I love it every time, and I think it's very successful. 4 cars in that, because 3. There's something to be said about the terminal railroad. There's something to be said about the switching layout if you're building a model railroad. They're different. 1. They're fun. They're entertaining. Half. I enjoy the switching layout. Truck.
Anywhere there's good. Shove
Far enough.
5 cars, please.
7. Here we come back. 5 cars. Come on, baby. Roll for me. Roll for me. There we go.
And you're shoving on a slight uphill here, because the tracks come back up after you go through the iron mine. So
Yeah,
your locomotive's right in the bowl at the moment.
I gotta say, this is a very challenging place to switch, because I gotta give it a lot of throttle to get it rolling, and then I need to back off to maintain the speed. It's a very challenging switching spot, and bulls
Cars.
are 3?
2.
2. Bulls are
1.
1.
Half.
Half.
Good hitch.
Good huck.
Pull ahead 4 cars, please.
Here we come ahead. 4 cars, number 7. You could really feel the hill here. It feels it feels like a hill. And bowls are their own unique challenge.
2 cars.
2 cars. Because you got a bowl, so yeah, you're
1
working
car.
half your train's uphill, half your train's downhill. Half.
Truck.
Truck.
Clear the switch.
Clear switch.
Push 5 cars, please.
Stop and shove for 5. Number 7. God, I really wish I had a diesel for this.
A lot more harder when you have to keep yanking the whole Johnson bar in and out.
This is switching where I'd be like, alright, just doing it with the steam engine be cool, but give me a little 1500, please. 1200, SW7, whatever. Give me not a steam engine, please.
What about an 18-tonner with like 3 levers you have to move all at once?
No, I've tried that once, and you need 3 feet and 4 arms to run it.
Could you imagine switching with a QJ?
Well, I've switched with
No.
an SY, and it, your arm is sore afterwards. You don't need to go to the gym, because every time you stop, you need to pump the throttle to set the Tromanov valves. So, like, your arm is just killing at the end. And for, a Tromanov valve is, picture a typical valve on a steam engine. It's kind
One
of
car.
dog bone shaped, one car. And it's a solid cast piece. A Tromanov valve is, you get rid of the center part of the dog bone shape, and the end of your valve floats on the spindle in the middle.
Anywhere
And
there is good.
far enough. Every time you stop and close the throttle and go into what's called drifting, the ends of the valve
Pull ahead 4 cars.
pull ahead 4 cars collapse in on themselves towards the center on the spindle. So they go from being all the way out at the end to both being in the middle. And it allows you to drift because then your valve isn't moving. So you don't need to worry about lubricating it. So you don't need to run with steam in order to lubricate the valve.
1 car.
One car,
Half.
half,
Truck.
truck,
Anywhere there's good.
far enough. So on an SY,
Push
a QJ,
5 cars.
shove 5 cars, number 7. On a QJ, an SY, a JS, every time you go to start your train, you need to pump the throttle all the way out. Your valves go from being in the center of the spindle to snapped out to the end because you just charged it with steam. So every single time, if this were an SY, and I'll show you what I need to do every time right now. And you look at any video of 3025 at the Valley Railroad or 142 at the Belvedere and Delaware River Railroad, every time you hear the throttle pump from every time that train starts from a front, you hear that snap.
1 car.
CD Trumpet says, drove an SY and the Trough-Manoff valves are freaking weird. Yeah, they are. But don't get me wrong, I'll take an SY any day. They're such easy engines to run and fire. They just want to go. I love them. I truly do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when the Jaitong Railway started, they used QJs for everything, including switching,
Truck.
because that's all they had.
Pull ahead 7 cars.
Okay, so what you need to do in an SY is, now we've just kicked it into forward, pull it out, close your throttle. Now you just charged up your valve, and you charged up your piston, and now they're set. So then you can kick off your brake and give it a little bit of throttle. CD Trumpet, you do the hand on the throttle at the Valley. Yeah, I don't get why, and I guess I'm doxing myself a little bit here. I don't get why we end up using 3025 for most of our hand on the throttles. It's not a good engine for it.
2 cars. 1 car.
One car,
Half.
half.
Truck. Anywhere in there's good.
Far enough.
Push back 5 cars. Actually 5.
Here we come back, 5 cars, number 7.
Actually 10 cars, please.
Back 10 cars, 7.
Realizing I need to put more here than I thought.
Fair enough. 40's a better engine to learn on because it's more traditional. The Tromanov valves are a lot of getting used to, and the engine runs. The SYs just in general run very differently. Don't get me wrong; they're very efficient. They use so little fuel, so little water, and honest to God, the engines don't want to do anything less than 30. But 40 is a great engine to learn on. It's a she's a bit of a pig, and I'm sure she'll curse me the next time I'm on her for saying that. But she's a lot of fun to run.
One car.
One car,
Half.
half. But she's no fun to switch with either. Truck.
Alright. That's good there. 7. Pull ahead. 4 cars, please.
7. Here we come ahead. 4 cars.
Uh, 2 cars.
2 cars.
1 car.
1 car.
Half.
Half.
Truck.
Truck.
And that's good.
Fair
Push 7 cars, please.
Here we come back. What'd you say? 4 cars?
7.
Here, 7. Back 7.
So we have now sorted everything that needs to go to the coal mine. So now we're putting all of the inbound cars on the siding. We're going to pull the cars we're taking with us, and then we're going to have to do a bit of switching because the blocking is still rough. So we're going to have to do a little bit of inny-outy kind of stuff to get everything in the right order. Yeah, excuse me, to
All
get
right.
everything in the right order. But fear not, ladies and gentlemen. We will, in fact, get it all in the right order. Okay, keep coming back there.
Well, CD, Nick, if you're ever out at the valley again, be sure to stop by and say hi to me. Love to meet you. If that's your area of the world.
Cars.
3 cars?
2.
2.
1 car.
1. And thank you. We're really enjoying doing this half.
Truck.
Truck. Ah. Well, that was
Oh, you saw that too. Anyway, that was good.
just stopped the train upside down. Gotta say that's a first. Hope to never
One
do
way
that
to
in real
stop
life.
it. Okay. Yeah, definitely not. Pull 4 cars, please.
7, pull 4. But thank you, CD. You know, we're really enjoying doing this series and getting to use this awesome simulators that are out here to kind of spread
3
the word
cars.
about how railroading
2
works in
cars.
2 cars. And I know I'm hoping that someone
1
watches
car.
this, wants to start volunteering at a railroad museum or starts
Half.
working at a short line. Half.
Truck.
Truck.
And anywhere there's good.
Fair enough.
Push back 8 cars, please.
7, here we come back. 8.
And now I have to make sure everything's set as far as links and pins in what we're about to hook up to, because we're just gonna plow through, grab it all, and then take it with us.
So now that we got an even lighter train, I'm using less throttle. We're also coming downhill a bit, so I'm just using enough to maintain our speed and not accelerate, which is one of the keys when switching. There's some cool, more advanced switching moves that I hope to show you guys in the future in a 200 level course once we get air brakes. Though maybe, you know, we're hoping to do some Run 8 stuff in the future to show off some of the more modern technology that's out there, so we can also show that stuff there of applying power and slowly releasing your engine brake to
Anywhere there's good to
accelerate and
stop.
get a smooth start.
Alright, good to pull. Good to pull 10 cars. There's 7.
7, good to pull for 10. Here we come.
Oh, stop. Sorry.
Stop.
Missed a pin. I missed a pin. Push back 1 car, please.
7, here we come back 1.
Eh, there's a reason they invented the automatic coupler, ladies and gentlemen.
Long
Half a
live the
car.
knuckle. Half a. Come
Keep
on,
coming.
baby. Come
Yeah.
on, darling. Roll. Roll,
Truck.
darling. Truck.
And good hitch. Pull 10 cars.
Well, the automatic coupler was invented solely so that you had the pleasure of cross-knuckling.
That too.
Yes, I'm mainly treating it from a convenience standpoint, not a, safety standpoint, which was also a big deal.
I think convenience played a role in there as well.
Probably.
Your brakemen can work faster when they have more than 3 fingers.
5 cars.
5
4 cars.
4,
3 cars.
3,
2,
2,
1,
1,
half,
half a
truck,
truck.
and you're in the clear.
Far enough.
Push back 5 cars. There, 7.
7, shove him back 5. Now you'll notice that I'm leaving my throttle out a little bit before I kick off my brake, and that's so that way I'm treating it a little bit like a diesel, since that's how it's set up, and that I'm just applying a little bit of power, and when I kick off my independent, it's going to gently squish up against that first car, maybe that second car, maybe that third car, so that way when I go to pump the throttle again, it's already squished, it's already taken up the slack in 2 cars, and it just kind of slowly picks up.
Good to stop there, 7.
Far enough, 7. God, my arm would be tired if this was a real engine with the Johnson bar, especially because there's nowhere to sit. Though I know an engineer who I watched him switch on a Laro charter, and he was riding in the windowsill. He had his butt on the windowsill, hand on the throttle, hand on the reverser, and his foot on the independent. And he was braking with his foot on the independent, doing all the switching. And I gotta say, that was one of the most impressive.
6 cars.
Pull 6 cars. But watching someone be able to make smooth movements with his foot and stop a train was just, it's the most impressive thing I've ever seen. I've never tried it, but
4 cars.
it was so cool. 4 cars.
3,
3,
2,
2,
1,
1,
half,
half a
truck,
truck.
and you're clear. Push 10 cars, please.
7, push 10.
I've fished 1 rail car out, as in cars of rails. The next move, we're going to fish out the other car of rails and the hopper, and then lastly is going to be the 2 beam cars. That will mark the coal mine done.
Alright, and then we can head out and knock up the refinery. Well, knock out, not knock up. Don't knock up the refinery. That would be bad.
Quite. Not recommended by most healthcare professionals.
No.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, I'm just keeping my mouth shut.
5 cars.
5,
4,
4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
Anywhere in there's good. 7.
Far enough, 7.
Pull ahead 7 cars, please.
7 ahead, 7. And I'm sure you're asking, why on earth are Nick and Casey repeating their own engine number ad nauseum? Well, that's because when you're using a radio, usually the first part of the first thing you say is cut off. So you always make it your engine number, so that, or you always make it a throwaway word. So that's why you hear people say, okay, come ahead. And okay and come.
5 cars.
5
4,
cars. 4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
1,
1 more.
half,
Half a
truck.
truck.
Anywhere in there is good.
Fair
7, shove, 6.
7 shove for 6. So that's why you'll hear okay come, engine number whatever, SOU 4501. Those are all throwaway words. Because once you've established communication, you always know who you're talking to. But you use a throwaway word to get lost on the radio when you first hit the button. So that's why Nick and I are repeating 7 ad nauseum.
2 cars.
2 cars.
1,
1,
half, truck.
half truck.
Anywhere in there is good. 7, good 2. See. Good to pull 9 cars.
7. Good pull for 9. Yeah, I am referring to the clipping where you lose the first part on a radio. But, you know, it's the way the railroads work, or you always include that throwaway word in there. So that way, if you're rushing, yeah, it's always better to take a
4
beat
cars.
before 4 cars. But
3.
3, you don't always remember to take a beat, so including your engine number up front. It's a way of 2, 1, always confirming who you're talking to, but also having something that's
1.
1 car, a throwaway word in there to lose if it does get clipped off.
Half,
Half a
truck.
truck.
And you're in the clear. 7, good to shove 8 cars.
7, good to shove for 8.
Five cars.
5 car.
4 cars. 3 cars. 2 cars. Anywhere in there's good. 7.
7, far enough. Well, you know, I say that, but we're trying. There we go.
Okay. Good to pull ahead 9 cars.
Woot 7, coming ahead 9 cars. What's the FRA rule about using your reporting marks like once every hour? Something like that?
Could very well be.
I forget. I probably should know that, but I don't.
Stop there as 7. You went too fast for me. I didn't get to pull one of the pins. Nope. Yes. Yeah, stop there. It's okay. Doesn't add work. Good to shove back 9 cars.
7, shoving back 9.
I'm like, darn it, I didn't get to put a beam car, and then it's like, that's okay, because I have to get another beam car anyway, so that turned out to not be an issue.
Well, glad it worked out.
Yep. Yep. Didn't make more moves for us, so that's always a good thing. 5 cars.
5 cars.
4.
4 cars.
3.
3 cars.
2.
2.
1. And anywhere there's goods.
Far enough.
Yep. Good to pull, let's see. 7 cars.
7. Pull for 7.
Is that an FRA thing? 4 cars. With regards to every 15 minutes?
I don't think so. I think it's every hour you need to say your reporting marks over the air while you're switching.
Okay.
Cause we're not on the. I mean, road crews aren't on the
3
radio.
cars.
Unless they need to be. So a road crew, and when we have a conductor on,
cars.
2 cars. When we have our conductor course, we can that'll definitely be a question we ask is out on the road. How often do
coming.
you need to keep coming? How often are you identifying yourselves?
1 car.
Cause you know, I don't work
Half a
class
car.
ones, half a car. But I can't
Truck.
see a class 1 getting on the radio once every 15 minutes and going, NS,
Who are you?
3025, NS 3025.
Good to shove back. 6 cars.
Here we come back, 6 cars, number 7. Come on, darling, please roll. Are there any handbrakes set?
I'll check. I don't believe there's... there was 1. There's 2.
Oh, there we go. We're rolling better now.
4 cars.
4.
Three cars.
3.
2 cars.
2.
1 car.
1.
Half.
Half a.
Truck.
Truck. Stop.
Gonna need to pull ahead, let's see. Pull ahead 3/4 of a car.
Coming ahead, 3/4 car.
Half car.
Half car.
Truck.
Truck. Stop.
There we go. Okay. Brakes on these. Pins pulled. Good to pull 5 cars.
Good pull, 5 cars, number 7.
Actually, 11 cars.
11 cars, number 7. Ahead.
If you look forward, you will see once again, because we have finished the coal mine.
Woo!
Yay!
And it only took a half hour.
Yeah, that's true. So let's hope that we have the same rate of success so that we can get this.
Actually-
We'll at least get the refinery done. I don't know if we'll get much beyond that.
Pistol
Let's see.
Pete's rule sounds correct. You know, I'm gonna pull out the 4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
1,
1 car.
half,
Half a
truck.
truck.
Anyway, let's go.
Far enough. I'm gonna have to pull out my rulebook after the stream and read our radio rules, because I think that's correct. You need to say your reporting marks every 15 minutes if you're continuously switching.
Shove 5 cars, please.
Shoving 5 cars, number 7. Pistol Pete's getting me to read my rulebook tonight. Damn. Though it's always a good idea if you're working for a railroad to periodically read your rulebook. It's never a bad thing to just check up on yourself and make sure you remember what you're remembering. It's
One car.
never a bad thing. One car.
Half car.
Half.
Truck.
Truck.
Good. Um.
Same thing with reading your CFR. You know, once this season, I crack open my CFR and I just got booted to the desktop. So
As did I. I hope that we got some
Uh-oh.
process saved in there.
I am still live, and I just dropped a save, so when you guys hop back in, you'll be all right.
all right, folks. While I log back in, we'll be right back. Take this minute, get some water to drink, use the bathroom. We'll be back in 2 minutes, folks.
Okay.
Hey guys, we're back. We're reloaded in. I don't know what it is about the Woot, but it just causes crashes for me. I don't know. But luckily we didn't lose all of our progress. And we're gonna be getting to the other end of the branch line here, reblock our trains, that way we can drill out the refinery next, which has a bit of a challenge because it only has a 5-car tail track. So that means we can only bring over the cars we need there. So that's going to make it quite a bit of a challenge. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as an engineer.
and I am dreading it as conductor. Um,
And
yeah,
I'm
I guess
watching
we'll.
it.
Though, if we want, we can swap for this industry and then swap back for the iron ore mine.
Well, I was thinking first we'll just get the coal mine empties / one load out first
Okay, that works.
to get those out of the way. Less I have to think around.
Sounds good to me. Don't forget we got that one lumber car down at the other end of the main there. That we'll have to dig out eventually.
The one lumber car at the end of the main.
Yeah, tied onto the caboose.
Oh yeah. Right. Then we'll probably get it now.
Alright,
So pull another 10 cars.
7 pulling for 10.
Don't forget you still have to pull that loaded iron car out of there too.
Yeah. But
Personally, I like doing that last because it's kind of like, otherwise that whole it's just in the way. So I just like doing like a 1-for-1 swap when I'm drilling that industry.
Okay.
I don't know, that's me.
Do whatever you guys want. I don't care.
8 cars.
8 cars. Number 7.
7.
7.
6.
7 6.
5.
7 5.
4.
7 4.
3.
7 3.
2.
7 2.
1.
7 1.
Half.
Half a
Truck.
truck
And you're in the clear.
in the
For
clear.
the shove. 4 cars.
7 stop and shove. 4. And get it charged. Close it. And you see how we move a little bit and then we stop? That's the slack coming in. That's us pushing in the slack. And that's what I say when you feel like you have everything picked up. So see how we're not stopping every time I push the throttle in? That's how I know I have all the cars picked up. And I can take that throttle wide open.
3 cars.
7 has 3.
2 cars.
7 has 2.
1 car.
1 more car.
Half.
Half a
Truck.
truck.
And pins in.
Pins in.
We're gonna keep shoving for 15 cars.
7 shove 15. And there are no handbrakes on, right?
No.
Okay. It's just sluggish. Did I pull a Casey? Did I let my fire go out? I did not. Well, let's hope I don't do that this weekend. I'm kidding, I won't. It's kind of hard
But
to let your
there's an
fire
extra
go out.
log thrown on the. An extra log thrown on just to be safe.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Well, I'm not throwing it on. I'm just saying that was a good time to.
I watched Rudy come over and throw a
Yep.
log on my fire. So
Oh.
you know,
Yep.
we got it covered. We're all set.
Fantastic.
Yes, came over, threw a log in your fire, and then just like vanish into thin air like the Flash.
We all get to enjoy the powers
My
of
name
the
is
Flash. and the
Barry
Prince
Allen, and I am the fastest man alive.
So, random side question.
Yes,
5 cars.
5.
Do you ever have that moment where you spent like
4.
15 or 20 minutes doing a complicated switching move,
3.
only to realize that there was a better way of doing it further down the road.
2,
Yes.
Yeah.
1,
1,
What did
half,
did
half.
you just find the
good
did you just
hitch.
Good hook.
just find the runaround?
Oh no, I know the runaround at the logging camp, and I put the log cars on the.
Good to pull. 25.
7 pulling 25.
On the yard end of the train. And now I just realized it'd probably be better to put it on the other end so that I could, at the sawmill, run around to the back, pull out the log cars and set them out.
Well, you could also just shove him back. There's no restrictions on branch lines about where you shove to.
All right.
You're only going, what, a quarter mile? Like,
If even.
Yeah. Very popcorny right now.
Yep.
So if you guys noticed that as we were starting up there, I was pumping the throttle and it would roll a little bit, stop, roll a little bit, stop. And then I just left the throttle wide open and it'd kind of like jump ahead 6 inches, roll ahead another 6 inches, another 6 inches. That was each car of the train getting picked up. That was the slack getting picked out. And when running steam or diesel in the real world, not in a video game, you actually feel that in the seat of your butt as you pick up each car. So it's a feeling you get. It's nice that in game you can kind of see that hesitation as it grabs each car. So things to keep in mind when you're switching.
5 cars.
5, number 7.
4,
4,
3,
3,
2,
2.
1. Half. Truck. And you are in the clear.
Far enough, 7.
Good to push.
7 good to shove. How many?
Good. 7 cars.
7 for 7.
Six.
6 cars.
5.
5,
4.
4,
3.
3,
2.
2,
1.
1.
Anywhere there is good.
Far enough.
7. Good to pull 5 cars.
7 good to pull for 5. There we go, got them all. Now, earlier in the
4
stream,
cars.
4 cars. I mentioned that when switching at my railroad, at our main
2
yard,
cars.
we don't use air. 2 cars.
3.
3,
2,
2,
1,
1,
half,
half,
truck,
truck.
and you're in the clear there. 7.
Far
Good
enough,
to
7.
push 4 cars.
Pushing for 4, 7. And you may say, well, why don't you charge up the train brakes with air? Well, because, and Rudy, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm trying to remember something from early in my training. To charge up a train with air, it is 2 minutes to charge up the first car, and an additional 30 seconds for every following car.
That sounds right. It obviously differs by
Cars.
car too. If you're doing passenger equipment, it takes longer and whatever else.
1,
But
half, truck,
Truck.
Good. Pins in there. Push 3 more cars.
Pushing 3. So as a general rule of thumb, 2 minutes for the first car, additional 30 seconds for every following car. Obviously, it'll be longer depending on if you're using passenger equipment versus freight,
2
if
cars.
it's the winter versus summer. But general rule of thumb. So now we
1
have
car.
an 18 car train.
Half,
Half,
truck.
truck,
Anywhere in there is good. 7.
far enough, 7. So you can see that that's like, about 10 minutes to charge up the train at the very beginning, and every time we tie up air, it'll be 5 minutes of pumping
Pull
before
5 cars.
pull 5 cars before Nick can do a set and release on the hind end, and that's where I'd take a first service
Actually-
reduction.
Stop.
Stop.
Yeah. I need you to actually push another 5 cars.
7, 5 car, 7. And a first service reduction's where I take 6 pounds out of my brake pipe. Nick stands down at the last car, watches the brake shoes apply, goes and looks at the brake cylinder, makes sure it's fully extended, and then calls for release, watches the piston retract, and watches and watches the shoes come off the car. Can you imagine what a pain in the
coming.
ass it is to do that every single time? So if you could switch without tying up air, why not switch without
3.
tying up air? 3 cars. It just make your life easier.
2.
2. So hence, we're switching without air tonight, because it doesn't exist. But if air did exist in this
1.
game, 1. I'd say,
Half,
half,
truck,
truck,
and that's gonna be good there.
far enough, 7. If air was in this game right now, I'd say, we're not going to bother tying up air. It's more of a hassle than it's worth. Especially
Pull up
when
5 cars.
7, pull 5 cars. So that's why if you don't need air to switch, no point in using air. Hi, Hostler.
Three cars.
3,
2,
2,
1,
1,
half,
half a
truck,
truck.
and you're in the clear.
Far enough.
Push 5 cars.
7, shove 5. Hey, Hostler.
Hey, now can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yep, we can hear you.
Yay.
Four cars.
4 cars. 7,
3 cars.
3,
2,
2,
1,
1,
half,
half a
Truck.
truck.
and pins in.
Pins in.
Good to pull 5 cars.
7, pull 5. Um, and sorry about the yawning. I've decided to stop having like more than 2 cups of coffee a day, and it is absolutely killing me. 2 cars.
One.
One.
Half
Half.
truck.
Truck.
You're in the clear.
Far enough.
Okay, good to shove back 6 cars.
7. Shove back 6. Keep some power on.
3 cars.
3 cars.
2 cars.
2 cars.
1.
1. Half.
Pins in.
Pins in.
Okay. And we'll go ahead and pull 10 cars.
7. Pull for 10. Pick up, pick up, pick up, and we got all the cars. Come on, baby, let's giddy up out of here. Oop, I'm off. There we go. Well, oh. Come on, stay in the cab for me.
7 cars.
I'm phasing through the hitbox for the cab right now. So I'm there we go, back in the engine.
3 cars.
3.
2 cars.
2.
1 car.
1 car.
Half.
Half.
Truck.
Truck.
7, you are in the clear. 7,
Far
shove.
enough.
5 cars.
Stop and shove 5, 7. So if anyone was ever thinking about going to work for a terminal railroad, this is what 12 hours of your day would look like. Rain,
Get
sleet, or
ready.
snow.
3 cars.
3 cars.
2 cars.
2 cars.
1 car.
1
Half.
car. Half.
Truck.
Truck.
And in.
Pins in.
and shove 1 more car.
Shove 1 car.
Okay, that's good. There's 7.
7, far enough.
Uh, 7 pull ahead 5 cars.
Coming ahead 5, 7. Rudy, what are your reporting marks? WOT?
Woot.
WOOT?
WOT. Yeah. Nick, just for the record,
Yes.
I have no idea what you're doing here.
1 car.
Neither do I. I'm
Half.
very lost.
Truck.
Half
It
truck.
makes sense in my head. You're in the clear.
Far enough.
Okay. I'm trying to help, but I don't know
Good
what's going
to
on.
shove 5 cars.
Good shove 5 cars. I have
Also,
no
what-
idea what's going on here.
Why are we not kicking these cars? Because this would take about half the time.
Because I am used to doing this where one does not get to shove.
Okay.
I'm just gonna sit up here in the cab. To be
Load 'em
fair,
back.
I did offer to switch positions.
I missed that part, but I'm too entrenched now, and it's that Parks and Rec meme. I'm too far gone, and I'm too afraid to ask. Okay. 2 cars.
2 cars.
1 car,
1 car,
half,
half,
truck,
truck.
and you can stop it in there. 7.
Far enough. 7. WOOT 7. Stop.
Okay. Pull ahead 5 cars.
WOOT 7. Ahead 5.
Three cars. 2 cars. 1 car. Anywhere in there's good. 7.
Far enough. 7. I keep thinking standard gauge cars in my head, and I'm like, no, that's wrong. These are short, little itty bitty cars.
Good to shove 5 cars.
7 shove for 5. Well, I hope you are enjoying the wonderful view of the cap here of Woot number 7, the mogul Ricky, as we go back and forth a bunch of times.
3 cars.
3 cars.
Do you want me to run so that you can stream something else?
1
Nah, it's fine.
half,
Half.
and pins in.
Pins in. You want to run for a bit? I'll go ride with Nick. Be his
Yeah, if I
brakeman,
figured that
maybe
way you
help
can
him out.
go. Figured you can go
Um,
watch what he's doing too and show that on stream.
Shove. Let's see.
Shoving further.
How do I want to do this? Yeah, shove 5 cars.
No idea what's going on back here, folks.
I'll explain it when our audience can see it.
I'm back
But
here
in
with
my
you.
mind, it makes all sense.
So you should be able to see it now. It's because she just ran back there.
Okay, so what we are doing here, ladies and gentlemen, is we're getting the iron ore cars together. I'm gonna hook up to the empty hopper. Those 2 are gonna remain there because they're gonna be the last things to be pulled. We've got that block of cars on the main that are gonna be refinery cars, so we're gonna come back to those in just a moment. 2 cars, 7. 1 car, half, truck, and that's good there. Okay, so did that do what I wanted it to do? The answer to that question is yes, because then we're going to be putting that lumber car with that. So that is good, which means pull ahead 5 cars, 7. Now do you see the method to my madness?
No, absolutely not. I am so confused.
It makes sense.
I have been lost this entire time, and I was watching Nick switch, and I honestly
So I would have taken those 4 state cars, put them over on the curve towards the down by the coal mine switch. Would have left the coal mine outbounds over there as well.
3. 2 cars.
But I do think he's right in that he's so
1
invested
car.
now. I don't know how to fix it.
Half car. Truck. Okay, in the clear. Good to shove 5 cars, 7.
You know you need 2 lumber cars with those pipes, right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
the other lumber car is with the hopper at the end of the cut by the mine.
I'm okay. Oh,
will make
okay. I think I see what you're about to do.
Thank you.
I think. I mean, I can't guarantee, but I think.
It makes perfect sense.
See, if-
Students, please chime into the chat and confirm that what I'm doing makes sense. Because it does. That is the correct answer. It does. We are talking 3 cars. 2 cars. 1 car. Half.
So if you're building a model railroad and you really want to confuse people, build a switching layout and give them a switch list and watch your guests go nuts trying to figure out what the hell to do. I love a good switching puzzle.
I say the real way to do that is to commission me to design the layout for you, and then commission Nick to build it for you in trains, so you can figure out what you're in for before you try building it in person.
So check out the P&L secondary over on Great Train GreatTrainLayoutsLive.com to see Rudy's just pure insanity of a crazy switching layout. Look forward to getting out there one day and trying it in real life.
See how do I think I want to take those out. I want to take those out. I want to put that in. Yep. Okay. We are pulling ahead 8 cars.
7 ahead 8.
Just gonna.
Extra 10 west. I still think I am to dispatch.
Dispatch answering.
I don't know how, but I somehow misplaced my caboose.
6 cars. 5,
I mean, you have authority in the whole wood branch. Go find it.
4,
It's back at the yard.
Is it really?
Yep.
3.
That's- Different.
I don't think I
2,
think I somehow didn't have handbrake on and it just rolled back.
Interesting. Okay, well.
1 car. Ninja, it makes sense. 1 car.
I'm
Half
so
a
lost.
car.
Oh, hey,
Truck.
that's right. You can see what you're doing on stream.
And that's good there.
Yes.
7, shove.
I
5
don't think
cars.
I don't think seeing what he's doing is helping.
You only have like 2 cars worth of room here to put stuff.
I'm not putting anything in there. I'm grabbing those, and I'm grabbing the 5, with the 4 flats and the loaded hopper, and I'm putting them on the main. And then all I
You're
have to
doing
do is
what?
fish out the beams car, and then I have my iron ore cars set. So there we go.
There's got to be a handbrake on this cut somewhere.
Let me check on that.
I'm shoving downhill and it's struggling.
You probably do. Yep, that one was on.
Why did we? Never mind.
1 car,
I'm so lost.
half truck, and that's good. Hit 7.
If you at home watching this understand the switching moves right now, please type in chat and let us know. We are interested in hearing your feedback. But also, this is what
The
switching
default
puzzles can
head
do to a
cars.
person.
They could
Are we not
make a
pulling the whole
person
string?
so insane they forget to plug their own other live stream.
Does Nick
that's my
realize
friend
yet
before.
that the way he's blocking this, he's not going to be able to get around his train at the very end?
No,
get
I
outta
don't
here?
think he does, and I don't think he's figured out where
I
any of
have
the
to
cars
get
at the
around my
refinery
train?
go. Yes, and I don't think he figured out where any of the cars at the refinery go because you were supposed to be blocking those before you blocked the iron mine cars.
5 cars. Well, it's okay, because we only have 5 minutes left to stream 4 cars. So, 3 cars. 2 cars. 1 car. Half. Truck.
Well, every
Eh.
third Thursday of the month, be sure to head on over to Nick's channel to check out Great Train Layouts Live, where he live streams building model railroad train layouts and track plans, and talks about what's good about them, what's bad about them, runs them so that way you can see how they operate, talk about cool operational things, and you can even commission your model railroad to get built by him on stream over on GreatTrainLayoutsLive.com. Did I hit all the points there for you?
Yes, thank you. That was a beautiful plug, and to celebrate that beautiful plug, we are going to shove 10 cars.
And us here at the Virtual Railroader Academy, we will be back not next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern. I'm thinking that we're hoping, fingers crossed, to be in Run 8 that day, talking about either Class 1 railroads or the job of the conductor on the modern railroad. So be sure to tune in then to check it out. If you haven't already, follow us on Facebook to stay up to date and get all of the news about when we are live and what topics we are going to be covering that night. Like, subscribe on YouTube to catch all of our rerun streams. All of them are up there as well. And if you haven't hit the purple heart here on Twitch, be sure to hit that and get notifications for when we go live. As we're finishing up these moves, I am Professor Casey.
I'm Professor Confused. I mean Nick.
And this was Switching and the Terminal Railroad 106. Thank you all so much, and have a good night.
Good night.